Having fun. This is simple, guys. We're just having a good time.
All right.
What's going on, Mother Truckers? Welcome to the Asian My Show, man. We're here. You see MCS. You might not have heard of it, but I'm telling you, you've seen the trucks and trailers.
Yes, sir.
Mayberry Chrome Shop. I mean, I'll be the first to say probably one of the most, if not most custom trucks and trailers in America, and there's a lot of nice stuff out there.
Yes, sir.
But please introduce yourself.
I'm Kevin Johnson. I'm the president of Mayberry Chrome Shop, and this is
Kynan Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm the engineer at Mayberry Chrome Shop. Just so happened to be his son as well, but
Is he any good then? Because I hear on the streets he's pretty good. So.
he's real good. I'm blessed.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Someone to
I'm
pass
good.
the torch to, right?
Absolutely. Is Kynan designed these hood skins that actually this is your def tank fill. Dash was removed, smoothed out, painted. There's even lines that were right in here. We went ahead and this is a piece that I developed with some other gentlemen that make this for me.
had the truck and was developing these T-bars. So we ended up, the end cap, I had it made and longer, and then we hand cut.
Underneath, we have got 16 ground zero 12s. So there's 16 12s in here running on 24,000 watts continuous. So as you can see on the end of the battery bank here, Kynan did all this wiring. We went all through it and designed all this, but he actually executed all the wiring, and you can see he's just as sometimes he passes it to me and shows me the way.
Oh,
Big team effort.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's good though. That's good though.
You know, we see this beautiful truck, and the touches that you put to this are incredible.
Thank you.
Can we talk about the specs a little bit and walk around?
Sure,
Just
sure.
to show a little bit of what MCS does, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely. Well, it's a 21 Peterbilt 389. Started out its life with Fitzgerald, Peterbilt, and the guys at Semi Casual. There's been a lot of different people had a lot of hands on this truck. A lot of folks to gain a lot of credit. It's custom, full custom paint inside and out. All the interior's been completely redone, painted, dyed. Some parts dyed, some painted. Full custom audio system. PDI did an incredible job on upgrades on the motor. Obviously, it's got an elaborate sound system because I guess I'm kind of known for doing the big sound systems, but we got a lot of cool stuff to show you. There's hardly an area on this truck and trailer that hasn't been touched and customized.
So, for the people that have seen this truck before, let's show the stuff that MCS has put a touch to.
All right.
Let's start walking around.
All right.
Let's do it.
Well, we'll go ahead and open the hood just so
Yeah.
you can see all the stuff in here. And up inside the hood, one of the main differences that we did was smooth out the inside of the fenders. The guys in the body shop was doing all this, getting that smooth. Still put a durable finish in there. It's like a bed liner, but it was reduced down so it flows out a lot smoother. Then one major difference inside this hood is Kynan designed these hood skins that actually we will be able to have for sale that mount right into factory holes with a few additional rivets.
Really?
And you can see even up at the top, that line of rivets, that's actually the factory bracing that fastens the whole hood together. This inner hood skin will actually fasten right through there, and even the holes for all the spring and the cable retention, it all goes right back in through the factory holes, and it matches up perfect. And it gives you a nice smooth finish on the inside, and it looks like it blends right into that radius up there too.
I was going to say, so you're going to make it so easy for people.
Right, they can buy that piece from us and we can ship them right out. So that'd be something that a customer could put right into a rig if they're wanting to actually customize it themselves, try to save some money, or it's something that's going to be available in our chrome shop to install.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Then obviously there's been a lot of amazing work that went on in the interior here and out under the hood. We'll actually walk over to the other side.
Let's go.
And we'll show you some of the things that we did over here. Actually, I'll let Kynan explain to you what we did here on the step plates.
Go ahead, brother.
So the step plates, Mitchell came to us and was wanting to have the paint scheme in the step plates. He said, I don't care how you do it, I just want it in there. So what I ended up doing was getting a good straight-on shot of the truck and imported the image into SolidWorks, which I draw in, and was able to trace the lines out and just kind of do our typical, just kind of ball and milled lines as well to add with it, and got our MCS logo just to kind of get a little branding, but ended up coming out, and Mitchell loved how they turned out. So I'm glad I could execute what he wanted done.
Yeah.
And also show them the plates and everything on the interior. This is something that's completely new. No one else offers this anywhere. But this is a couple of pieces in here that are very specific.
So as far as the clutch pedal goes, it's typical. It just has the bolt like a Peterbilt has. The throttle pedal is a stick-on right now, but we're wanting to get towards where we can do it just like the brake pedal. The brake pedal there is a one-piece design that has blind pins that mount through the other side, and it'll mount one pin for the roller, one pin for the hinge, and you don't have to worry about using double-sided adhesive to stick your pedal on anymore. And then the base itself is actually a two-piece billet base that I modeled after the original base as well, but since we bolted them to the floor with riv nuts, we wanted to have a nicer base that wasn't just the original cast aluminum.
It looks incredible.
Thank you.
It's just super clean. I love it. I love it.
And then, obviously, there's a lot of things we've done on the interior. Let me step up here real quick. We made a lot of changes to the interior from when we originally did it about a year ago, and we actually took all the interior out before mats, and everything on the interior has been touched. Either a lot of the headliner is a factory headliner still, but it's been dyed black. All the dash was removed, smoothed out, painted. There's even lines that were right in here that were filled in and smoothed out. There's a big model, or basically a junction line there where two halves of the dash kind of come together from the factory. That was even all molded in. So just a lot of refinement to the factory dash that you don't really see otherwise, or you don't notice unless you point it out to someone. So that's all smooth. We actually put a brand new floor in it even before mats.
Really?
It's a different floor that was here.
It is a different floor?
Yes. Because it had the brake base mounted down on the factory floor, and in order for Kynan's design with the billet base and pedal to really be recognized and look the way we wanted it to look, it's a beautiful piece that can mount right up on top of the floor. So we made a new floor and made a solid piece so we could bolt all the brake valve and everything right to that, and it bolts right down to the floor.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then obviously these are some pieces that we had made before for it, and then we had all those pieces that kind of were showing you the step plates, brake pedals, all those were chrome plated. He also designed these inserts that bolt into the back side of the upper door panel. There's 10 little machine screws that bolt that in. We developed new door pull handles up here. And if you look around in there, we even chrome plated the door retainers and the little rods that hold the door retainers in the hinge.
Wow.
So just some crazy little touches.
Oh, very crazy.
Another thing, Steven, our painter, before mats, we were able to we mask off basically the whole truck. We pulled it over into so we call it our bounce house. We got a blow up paint booth, but we pulled it over into our vacuum bay that the truckers pull in. Front to rear, we had about 4 inches to get this truck in there.
The truck barely fit.
But we masked everything off, and Steven got the jams striped as well with the rest of the truck. So it carries everything through.
The jams were black before, but from here around, he repainted all those jams, so the stripes follow through.
Just the little touches that you don't know take hours and hours.
And this is something that was done before, but a lot of people always ask, is this a DEF truck? We say, yes, it is. And this is your DEF tank, Phil. It's buried up there in the back. So this tank is actually divided out about right here. Then the DEF tank is buried back in there. So it's kind of sneaky that way. So we've got like a 389 hood hinge or a hood latch up there, and you fasten it up and away you go.
Oh yeah.
Before we go in there, another little detail. These handles were all black too, so we sanded those down. This has got an original little line in it. Just ended up filling that and kind of shaving it out.
Just like on the side of the dash.
Yeah, just like the side of the dash. Just the little lines that aren't necessary to be there. Went ahead and sanded it out and then striped the door handles.
Then here in the back, obviously we had a piece in the front that said Big Daddy. We went ahead and This is a piece that I developed with some other gentlemen that make this for me. Made this panel to say bottomly up on the top. It's all lit. There's about 15 feet of LED light strip up there illuminating that. And then another few pieces of kind and design that we'll also probably have for sale are these little, just a simple little stainless rectangle with radiuses on the end for those watermelon lights.
Oh yeah.
And that just sandwiches in there onto the plastic and holds them nice and firm, and you don't see any mounting screws. They mount in behind where the light is.
It's just a cleaner touch.
Right, right. It's just little fine details that you try to do just to try to be a little bit creative and a little bit different.
From factory, they got the 2 dome lights over here, and then they have the one over there. So you're able to just easily cut another square in, and since it's sandwiches, you don't have to worry about mounting holes. You just cut your opening, and then you can mount and have 2 lights on either side.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can mount them right through the speaker hole, and you don't have to take your plastic piece down.
Coming soon.
That's right. Well, I'll let Kynan also show you. Well, I'll get some of it, and I'll let him get some other pieces. So these eye panels, these are the first eye panels that we made. He drew these up. I got them welded together with the help of another gentleman.
Front and rear.
Yeah, front and rear eye panels. There's even an eye panel at the front of the tanks just to block all that out and keep everything clean and tight looking.
Wow.
But these are, as you can see, the gap between the tanks is really tight. It makes it just good and clean, and hard for judges to get their fingers back in there to find dirt.
Is that what it is?
Yes, yes. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show you the eye panels, and I'll let Kynan explain to you what we did under the frame.
Okay. So Mitchell, one thing that he really wanted for mats was an underframe cover. He's like, man, I really want to clean up the underneath side. And we all kind of got underneath it, looking at it, and started measuring, seeing clearances and if we could make something work. And a lot of people will do like a tunnel over the drive shaft, and I kind of wanted something that was going to stay more flat. So what I ended up doing is, you can kind of see it in the mirror, but I went flat where the carrier bearing mounts to, and then I just angled straight out to the edge of the frame, and we ended up welding the end caps on it from the opposite side, so they actually extend up.
Check out the clearance between the drive shaft and that green end cap up there.
Oh my gosh, it's just like a centimeter?
It's literally an eighth of an inch.
It is?
It's close. And then when we hadn't gotten the T-bars from PDI yet, because before we started, PDI had the truck and was developing these T-bars. So we ended up, the end cap, I had it made and longer, and then we hand cut all the cutouts around the drive shaft to be able to fit with the T-bar as it kind of curves down, because we wanted to kind of have the same as the front and clean everything up. And then we didn't want any kind of just regular strip lights or anything under here, so we went with the 8.4-inch rounds. When we installed this, it was not actually as bad as what most might think. We were able to just have the carrier bearing down and the light hole out, and we've got the 6 bolts with brackets on the frame. Put those up, and then my arm's small enough, I was able to reach through the light hole and put a wrench on the back side of the nut. So it's not like a welded in nut. It's still got its clearance to be able to slide forward and rear like the original design would need.
So you can make sure and mount it properly.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
And in all the lights under the frame, everything on here, it's all DOT legal until we hit one switch. Then everything goes to green. All on the trailer. The trailer's got in excess of 104-inch round lights under it. And everything will go amber to red, just like everything should be running down the road, but you can hit one switch and poof, everything goes over to green.
That's cool. Ready for the show.
Ready for the show, that's right. But on the trailer, obviously, the panels are all painted black and smooth, so it just had a better finish to match the finish of the truck. And then, if you'll notice, another thing that Mitchell wanted, he wanted to carry some of that stripe design, and he wanted to get bottomly put up there, just kind of as just paying tribute to the cattle and everything, because a lot of that started with his dad. They raised dairy cows, and now they're raising beef cows. But Bland had started that out. Of course, all the trailers normally have a bottomly up there on that porch light. Well, this isn't lit up, but at least we wanted bottomly up there just to kind of carry a little bit of that theme. Put clear lens lights all on the reefer, which was just a small touch, but there's a lot of strip lights in behind those chrome bars that lights up in behind just to give a nice underglow. So Steven did an excellent job of getting that painted on there.
Yeah, he took the exact fender design and stepped it down.
He literally
and
shrunk it down and put it up there.
Incredible.
Right.
Incredible. Incredible. I love it.
So I guess going on back here, well, I didn't really touch on the stereo a lot, but the stereo on the truck has 20 speakers, including 4 12-inch subwoofers in the closets. It's got 14,000 watts in the truck.
Maybe you could send me some short video clips later.
Yeah.
And I could put together of you guys just putting that all together, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll show some flex on the speakers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I can show that. So, as Kynan was saying, PDI developed the front T-bar. They also did this rear T-bar for us as well. And so, as I'm going to show you here in a little bit, my little bit of touch we put on the sound system in the back has to get signal from somewhere. So this auxiliary 7-pin actually transfers through a common ground, so the amp turn on that comes through there as well knows how to turn everything on, and also the light switch over to green comes through this. And then right here in the middle you can see RCA connections. So we've actually got a hardwire RCA connection that comes through from the truck into the trailer, and then we'll even take you up in the trailer and show you kind of the guts of the system in the back, which it's kind of neat. So we'll have to take a look at that. But you can see here also all the underneath of the trailer's been all sheeted out, and everything is smooth, so that you don't have any chance to look up and see, you know, it's just trying to just complete that smooth finish of the outside of the truck and trailer.
Love it.
Granted, you've got 2 7-pin connectors, so you've got a lot of cords to try to clean everything up. We reached out to a company called Reflex Allen, and they were super cool, and they were able to get us these coil in coil. Yeah, it was right before Matt's. They
come through for us.
Yep. So we're gonna be dealing with them a lot, trying to carry their product in there. But the coil in coil, and we were able to run our RCAs through the center of that. Granted, you know, we've still got the individual 7 pins on each side, but it's a tight enough coil that you don't have any sag hanging down, and it still allows him to turn full corners. So
perfect. Something else that you don't see is the diesel tank for the reefer unit. So we've had a lot of people say, well, what'd you do with the diesel tank? Say, well, normally the dolly leg area isn't that bulky. So as you can see here, and I'll even just show you, this Zeus fastener right here that they have on race cars and things. Take that off. Right there's your fuel cap for your diesel tank for the reefer. And when we were building this trailer originally, all the fuel lines, the electric lines and everything would run all the way up through the front and out to the front, so the guys at Thermo King could put on that unit and make everything hook up, because we had everything sheeted out, so there was no access to it. So I had to make sure we did everything right when we did that.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
But just continuing on all the 4-inch lights all throughout the trailer. Just some different things that we did was changed all the lines over to a steel braided line going back to the dollies. And if you'll look close, right here, these are actually billet aluminum that we had chrome plated wire gatherers to gather up all the lines. Even had the machinist, I told them, you know, which ones I wanted to have this, to have a little stay here so we could put this eyelet to be able to still run the springs, so we can still move this dolly unit. So they can still slide the tandems if they need to, or not dolly, the tandems. But some other things that we did, kind of designed these drop panels that go in the front and the rear of both the axles. So just following that theme of keeping everything low and more lights. As you can tell, all the stripes had been put on the fenders and everything, just to keep that theme flowing throughout the truck.
Every drop panel so the eye panels, and each 4 drop panel has got 4-inch rounds front and rear, and then 3-inch spacing chicken lights underneath of every panel as well.
On the T-bars, each of those T-bars has 63-inch three-quarter inch on 3-inch spacing all along those T-bars. Wow. So there is a ton of wiring in those T-bars too.
There's two full days of you and
2 full days of wiring just on the T-bars, all day long. But here, as you can see, we added a little bit of a sound system in the back.
Okay, so tell me about this real quick. What's going on here?
Well, Mitchell knows that I like sound systems, and so does he. He originally had us build that sound system in the truck at Davis Brothers when we were there, as a lot of the original work was done on this truck. But so we decided to put a little bit of sound system in the back of the trailer, and I just kind of started measuring up, seeing how much room we had, and I knew I could put something pretty silly back here. So what we started out with was a stack of 12 sheets of cabinet grade 3/4 inch plywood. There was some off-fall, of course, but there's basically 12 sheets of plywood were cut up to make this box. There's multiple interior braces and things to keep it strong. But then, if you'll notice all the little bolt heads you see there, those little round bolt heads, those bolt through a strap of steel that goes in, turns up, and goes along the side of the interior of the box. And there is 10 half-inch grade 8 bolts tapped and threaded and bolted into the frame on either side.
Wow.
So we've got lock washers and Loctite on those to make sure that that's secure, but this will actually slide with the tandems. Now we're a little bit limited because of wiring constraints in there, but we can move the tandem still in the back.
Ain't that something? This is ridiculous.
And what we've got is, underneath we have got 16 ground zero 12s. So there's 16 12s in here running on 24,000 watts continuous. And then on the sides of the box, there are 16 on each side, 8-inch coaxials that are a weatherproof, because we get asked that question a lot. They're actually weatherproof, they're weather resistant, not weatherproof.
Yeah.
The cones will take a reasonable amount of water, and the center of it has a rubber piece that goes in there from the factory that helps keep water off. They use these on baggers and things a lot. So these speakers will take a lot of abuse in that manner. But you wouldn't want to put them in the ocean on a boat, maybe, but they might still even take that. But the subwoofers are just standard hydrogen series subwoofers, and altogether in the back of the trailer, there's 28,800 watts.
Oh my gosh.
It's a funny story how we ended up running 16 speakers on the side. We initially just planned to do 8 and 8, and Mitchell's like, that's a lot of room. He's like, you think you can get 10? And Dad is just like, well, I can get you 16. Would that work?
No, but I can do 16. If you want more, I'm going to give you more.
I love it, and you know, it's just incredible. And later on, we'll put on some music when we get an opportunity.
Sure.
And so people can hear a little bit of what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be
And one last little tidbit, we can take you up in here and actually show you the guts of the operation.
Hey, it gets a reaction, I guarantee it. Now, that's the engineer, and the other one's the dad. They designed
So obviously in a 53-foot trailer, we've got a lot of room. And if it gets too warm, we can always turn on the reefer unit, get it down to 50, 60 degrees, but we haven't had to worry about that yet. But we had to plan out how to run that many speakers and how to put that much power into there, and also how to get everything charged and so forth too. So all of the wiring from the truck comes up through the floor right here. These are the RCAs that feed the signal to the amplifiers. And this cord you see coming in here is actually a charging cord that comes from the back. So we've got 2 extension cords we can plug into the back of the truck, and it runs a series of 3 chargers. So these are excess power PSC 90 battery chargers. And we've got the digital readouts and everything on the wall. They're intelligent chargers. They even have a heat probe that goes on each bank of 13 of the 26 SX excess power D3100 batteries. So we've got 26 D3100 batteries in here.
The special thing with these batteries, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they're designed for stereo, so a lot of people were wanting to run capacitors before, but that's for the quick release of the energy whenever a big note hits. So these batteries are designed to be able to quickly release energy versus a standard battery, which they can hold the energy, but they're not good at releasing it fast. So these batteries are designed to be able to replace the cap, so you have a bank of them, so you've got all of these basically are replacing any kind of capacitor that you might used to have.
It's incredible.
So we try to basically engineer the amount of current draw that we're going to have and try to get a battery bank that will sustain that with a minimal requirement of charging, but obviously we've got some pretty healthy chargers running them. So as you can see on the end of the battery bank here, kind of did all this wiring. We went all through it and designed all this, but he actually executed all the wiring, and you can see he's just about as loony about neatness of wiring.
I guess you know, I call it OCD. Some people say just taking pride, but in case anybody wants to come up in here, you know, potential customers, I want them to see like we can do this, and still on the time that we had, I'm like, this is gonna be as good as I can get it right now. And he's like, no, that is fine.
This is just as good as he can get it for now.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of shabby, but
Right.
I had so much time that I had to have invested in building the cabinet because it was such an elaborate cabinet. And then there's actually the 8s are in actual sealed cabinets out on the sides away from the subwoofer box. So you're basically building 3 separate, well, it was actually 4 because the subwoofer's even separated down the middle. So 4 separate cabinets hanging in one unit under a trailer. It was a little bit of thought had to go into that. So thankfully he was able to do all this and put all this together. And what we've got is 2 Sound Digital 12,000. They're a 12,000.1 mono block amplifier. So this is actually the speaker wire that's going out back to the 12. So we're actually running 8 gauge power cable to go back there for the speaker wire.
Jeez.
So there's 2 12Ks running the subs. There's 2 2400.4s running either box on either side of the truck. So 28,800 watts, and there's a lot to getting it all hooked up. And just a side note, it was a major success. We turned it on and we didn't have any screaming and squawking, and nothing went wrong. Everything just played.
Yeah.
Minimal adjustment.
The communication obviously worked out because I know Adam was helping us in our shop.
He ran all the wires.
He ran all the wires to the back and had them labeled for me to be able to cut them. He helped just to connect the stuff in the trailer, or the truck and the trailer. So for it to all come together with all of it, it was pretty good communication between all of us, I think.
Steven was painting the front panel, and this has all happened on this trailer since Matt's. So we've done all this, and you know how long that's been, not a very long time.
No.
So
It's 3
Steven was
weeks.
painting on the front, and he was even working on some other projects, painting some fenders for a customer in the shop. And so while I was building the box, they were doing this wiring, getting all the batteries set. This battery box, call it a battery box, is 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch angle, and it's all fastened down through the floor with rib nuts. So that's all secure to the floor, big hold down. So Adam built all that for us, and everybody was just working as a unit really well. And
That's great.
yeah, and
I'll tell you.
it worked out really well. It's turned out good.
I'll tell you, all you mother truckers out there, man, you guys see a lot more of MCS. We got the dream team. There's a lot of people that couldn't make it here that I'm sure are back at the shop that are doing their thing.
Yep.
And
But
we couldn't have done it without them too. That's the thing.
But definitely this father and son duo, man, they're taking it to the next level.
We're sure trying.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. All this build, I know that it took a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of good people. Any people that you want to shout out there that made this happen?
Yeah, definitely. There were some guys that really come through for us. Jeff and Cody at Dropping Hertz Car Audio. They've got online business that's just fantastic. They come through for us on this RCA distribution, and that way we can just split 2 out into 8 that we had to require for these amps. And a big thing was they work very well, and they've got a great they've got a great relationship with the guys at Excess Power, and they're the ones that quickly got us all these batteries. I didn't order these batteries until after Louisville.
Wow.
We got these batteries in a short amount of time. And right before Louisville, we were in a huge bind, and we needed some subs, and they come through for us on the subs that are in the truck right now. We had to go with something we don't typically run, but they worked out. And man, I can't give those guys enough thanks for everything they did to help us out, because man, if you know how it is today with everything after COVID and trying to get parts and everything, it's just difficult to get things in a short time, and they really come through for us, and that made the difference. It really did.
They did everything in a hurry, and they even asked us if we wanted the custom engraving on the top of the distribution box. So
we got the MCS logo in these fuse blocks.
Look at that.
And Jeff's
Look at
even
that.
like, hey, in the future we'll even make these RCA boxes with your logo on them. So it's other companies that thrive on custom stuff that know what we're trying to do. Really helps us be able to just offer more custom things that typically you wouldn't be able to have. I mean, not everybody just goes out and makes a fuse block. You know, they don't have a laser etcher or whatever. You know, so those guys helping us are going to really help. Hopefully, I'm not saying change the industry, but just help add another avenue of custom things that we can offer.
I love it. No, I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.